Hello, so this tutorial is going to cover how you should start to build out your screens for your app. Okay, so I just have just a starter file, so I'm just starting with just a regular starter file from Glitch. So I literally just went to Glitch and just said new web project, and I just kind of took out some of the stuff in the body that Glitch has. Um, and I'll hit here, and I'm just going to kind of give myself like a clean slate to work from. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, all right, is for your apps, you're essentially going to have you're going to have three screens, okay? So screen one is going to be your animation, screen two is going to be your main screen, and screen three is going to be your outcome screen. And so this first tutorial is just going to show you how to combine HTML, JavaScript, and CSS to kind of create a template for yourself that you'll be using as you actually develop like your UI elements going forward. Okay, so the first thing that we'll do is we'll go ahead and just do those three divs, all right? So we're going to do the first div, we're going to call it, we'll give it an ID of screen one. Okay, and then we'll do screen two, and then we will do screen three. Okay, and then in the CSS, all we're going to do with this page is we are just going to give them a background color, a height, and a width. All right, because really what we want to do is we want to use these three things as like your containers for all of your other screen information. So for instance, like everything that's going to be on your menu screen, your main screen with your options on it that leads to sort of like your outcome screen, and you're welcome to name these whatever you want. Think of this as like, this is the container for that. Okay, so this is going to be a full size div, right, with the background color, and it's going to be the size of the screen that you're targeting. And everything else is going to go in here. So for instance, you would do like your, your title, right? And then your p tags, and everything will go in here that you want to go on that one screen. And that'll be coming in a later tutorial. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll just head on over to the CSS. And let me just remind myself, okay, screen one, screen two, screen three. All right, we're just going to target screen one. And let's do we're just going to do a background color for now. And I'm just going to make them three different background colors. And they're all going to need a height. And I'm just going to say like 70 VW for now. I'm going to change this in a moment. And they're going to need a width, 100 VW. Okay, so, all right, so I'll do screen two, screen three. All right, and let's just do blue and pink. All right, the colors don't matter right now. I just want to make sure that I can see the differences between each of these screens. Okay, so what I'll do now is I will, and it just depends on like what device you're going to target for your app. I'm going to show you how to do mobile on this one. But if you're making an app that you want to specifically use on desktop or on a tablet, go ahead and go for that. All right, so I'm going to open up this page. And oops, I'll just go back in here real quick, and I'm just going to put up that body margin, do a 0 auto, just to get rid of that like weird white space. Okay, that should take care of that, but I don't know. We'll just keep going. We'll figure that out. Okay, so I'm going to open up my web inspector, grab my iPhone X. Okay, and I have 1,000 tabs open as usual. It's a judgment-free web space here. Okay, so let me get myself ready. Meow, meow, meow. Great. You get out of here. You come here. Okay, cool. Oh, because I said marging. Haha, funny. Y'all probably saw that. You're judging me. Okay, cool. So screen 1, screen 2, screen 3. So what we want to do is we want to get the size of each of these screens, which are essentially your different pages. We want to get that to fill this whole screen. Now the difference between pages and screens, and why I'm saying screens, is because we're going to be making something that just swaps out your screens. So you don't ever leave this page. And that's the difference between like an app and like a traditional website, right? Like, so the app is going to let you swap out content and bring up new content when you click on items. Your more traditional website will bring up like separate pages, separate tabs. We're not doing that. So you're building everything in the same HTML file. And there'll be more information about this as we go. Okay, so I'm going to use my web inspector friend to get the correct height here. So right now I'm at 70. So I'm just going to use this to kind of scale. And iPhone X should probably be like the longest screen at this point, or the tallest, whatever you want to say. So you want to get this so that it kind of goes a little bit over. And right now we'll obviously have this ability to scroll. All right, now I'm going to show you how to disable that. It just depends on your app, like what you want to do with your app. If you do want scrolling, there are some things that you can do. But okay, so getting to my point, what you might want to do is just maybe toggle between some of the different, like here's pixel. Okay, so you want to just make sure that like when you're toggling a bunch of different mobile screens, especially if you're targeting mobile, you want to just make sure that that height is, it can go a little over, which is probably a good practice. So I'm going to go with, I think I landed on 220. So I'm going to go with like 220 for now. And you can always adjust this a little bit later. Okay, but this is the container for each of your different screens. Okay, so again, think of these different containers as different screens. So I'm going to go back in to the CSS and I'll swap this out with 220. Okay. Oops. So that should give me the opportunity to, okay, so here's all my screens. Now what I'm gonna mix in Jquery now, and this is gonna be your like intro to Jquery and just how it works. And so you have a couple different options. So one of the things that you could do, okay, right now in scrolling, you could disable the ability to scroll, which would just be overflow hidden. Okay, that will allow you to disable your ability to scroll. So right now I'm trying to scroll and I can't scroll. Anything that's below the fold here is non-scrollable. That's a thing that a lot of apps do, but you may have content that you want below the fold just depending on your app, and depending on like what you're building, especially in terms of you building for different devices. So there's a couple different ways to do this. We'll leave the overflow hidden on right now. And what that allows us to do is allows us to just let our other screens, which are down here, we have 2 other screens, they're just kind of like hanging out. They're just not visible. So we actually don't have to, we don't really need to hide them or show them. We can scroll up. We can do a lot of different things. But I think the way that I'll demo this right now is I'll just leave this, I'm going to leave this undone for now. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to go to the HTML and we need to install the JavaScript library. So here's the link for the actual script file here. Okay, it automatically comes with this web format that you get from Glitch. And so what we need to do first is we need to head on over to the Jquery page. And you could type in Jquery CDN, Content Delivery Network. That's what we want. Okay, here we go. So if we just click, you could do like minified or slim. We're not using anything crazy from this library. Just click on one of these. I'm going to do minified. And then what we're going to do is we're going to copy this link because this is the library, okay? But instead of like installing it in our directory, right, which is in glitch, we're just going to let it be hosted by Jquery. So this lives on the internet, and we're just going to call this into our project. So it's really important that you put this above the script tag. Oops. Come on. I guess I'll have to manually copy and paste it. Come on, Jquery. Okay. So it's really, really important that you put this above your script tag. I like this better when it goes on one line. It's just like my personal bullshit. Okay. So the reason it's important that it goes above the Jquery is because you want the library to load, and then you want your script tag to load because this is going to be dependent on this. Okay. So we have 3 IDs, okay? Screen 1, Screen 2, Screen 3. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just really quickly put some content inside of these screens, and I'm just going to use like a H1 just for now. You're going to obviously switch this out to be like your buttons and stuff later, but I'm just going to use a H1 for the time being, and I'll just say next screen. Okay, and so I'm going to put this little next screen tag, let's indent this, inside of here. All right, so inside of each of the screens. Meow, meow, meow. Okay, cool. And then let's just give them all, so we're going to style them all with H1. And then let's also give them some IDs. ID equals, let's say, to first. That's not how you spell that. And let's give this one, we'll say, to third. And then this one, I'm going to say, and you can name these whatever you want, to second. Camel case. All right. So real quick, I'm just going to head over here, and I'm just going to say H1. Well, let's just see what it looks like. Okay. So next screen, I'm just going to real quick just give it a little text align. Center, and then I don't know, let's give it just a little bit of margin, top 5 VW. No? You don't want to do the no margin top? Let's try that. Okay, cool. We can increase this if we want. I don't know, 10. Okay, so, padding. I would prefer to use margin here. Padding is a trash way to do that. Okay, whatever. CSS. Let's just leave that for now. So I just want this button to be, I'm just being like nitpicky now. Okay, so this is what's going to be our clickable item. These next screens here, okay? And they all say the same thing, but they all have different IDs, okay? And so we don't actually even need to mess with them in CSS anymore. We're going to go over to Jquery. Okay, so this is your intro to Jquery. There's going to be a lot more information on Jquery and where to find information about it, but I'm just going to sort of show you how to use it really, really simply, okay? So $, means Jquery. Anytime you see a $, in a JavaScript file, it literally means Jquery. You could also type Jquery in its place, but don't do that every time because you'd have to type that out every time. So $, once you have the library installed, right? So we have installed the library here. So anytime we use $, it means jQuery. So what I'm about to type, this is exactly what it says. jQuery, and then you put your jQuery selector in here. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we actually want to hide those other screens. Okay, so that's why I got rid of this. Okay, because right now you can scroll and see all of these. But what we want to do is we want to hide these other screens so that it pretty much will disable scrolling for us. So we will do jQuery and then the selector. So the thing that we want to grab is we want to grab screen 2 and screen 3. Okay? So we're just selecting things with jQuery. That's all this is doing right here. So we're going to say screen 2, and it's an ID, so we got to put our little ID symbol here. And then we'll put a comma because we could put multiple things to do stuff with, right? These are like jQuery handlers. So we'll do screen 2 and we'll do hashtag screen 3. If I could spell 3. Great. Okay. And then, so this is our selector. We're saying, okay, this is what we're going to do jQuery to. And then we put the thing we want to do to it. So the thing we want to do to it, and again, this is just right from the jQuery library. We're going to do .hide, okay? And then we need a parameter here because that's just how like the jQuery library works, okay? So this is hide, and then this is hide's parameter. So you could say, for instance, like slow in here. It'll accept certain parameters. But we're just going to do hide for now. Okay, so, and then we'll close it out with a semicolon. So what this will do, all right, so I'm just disable this for a second just to show you. What this will do is, so again, I have this, I can scroll through all the screens. When I turn this on, or uncomment it, see, it's hidden my other screens. So they're not there anymore. So I'm trying to scroll. They're not there anymore. There's nothing to scroll to. So they're hidden. Okay, so what we're going to do now is based on a click, we are going to be toggling in between these screens. So we're going to target this first button to be able to do that. So we'll do pretty much the same thing. We'll say jQuery, and we'll put our what we want to, our jQuery selector in here, okay? What we want to work with. So the first thing that we want to work with is we want to work with this h1 tag called 2second. So let's go back in JavaScript. 2second, it's an ID. Okay, and this thing, we want it to be a click. Okay, but because we want it to do something, right? This just kind of like, it just hides something. It doesn't like, how do I explain it? This just like does a really simple thing. A click is a little more elaborate because we need to be like, okay, did you click on it? Cool, okay, if you clicked on it, then do this thing, okay? And anytime you need to do a thing, did you do this thing? Okay, then do this thing. It needs to be in what's called a function. So anytime you see the keyword function in script, it means you're gonna do something, okay? So we're gonna put our function inside of here as a parameter for the click, okay? So we're gonna say function gets a parameter, and it gets a block, okay? So before you do anything, just make sure that your code looks like what I have here. All right, then what we do is we go inside the block friend. Okay, anytime you have two squiggle brackets facing each other, that's a block, and we're gonna hit enter. And then we're gonna leave this the fuck alone. We're just gonna leave that alone because the thing that we want to happen, we need to put inside of here. Okay, so the thing that we want to happen is when we click on this here, we want to hide this screen and we want to show the other screen, okay? And so at this point, it's pretty easy. So we want to hide. I'll copy this because I'm lazy. We don't want to hide these two, okay? We want to hide the screen, that first screen. So we're hiding screen 1 and screen 3. We want to hide screen 1. Sorry, I meant screen 2 and screen 3. Sorry. Okay, we want to hide screen 1. And then we also want to to screen 2, which is the screen being hidden currently. We want to show that one. Okay, so let's try it out. I keep hitting save like that's a thing I need to do here. All right, so we should have the scrolling disabled, okay? And then we click next screen. Oh my God, it hides the red screen and it shows the blue screen. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then maybe just for some added effect, let's just grab these real quick. You don't have to do this. I just want to show y'all, like, let's do color, green, and we'll do to first, because these are the IDs for my, let's see, my, my H1, sorry. Let's do, orange, and then we'll do blah, to third. No, wait, to first to second. I forgot. To first to third, yeah. So to second, and then I spelled this wrong because I'm a dum-dum. First, yeah. Oh wait, is that right? Sure, whatever. To first to second to third. That's what I was trying to get. So to first to second to third, okay, and then we'll just say, I don't know, red. Cool. Okay, so I just wanted to do that so that we had different different type colors so you could see. So when I click on next screen, okay, whoops, I had this lowercase t, so that's why things weren't looking exactly the way I wanted to. Okay, so when I click on this, perfect. Okay, so it shows the blue background with the red type. Okay, so then I want this screen to go back to my first screen. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, so screen 1 is gonna have the red background, and let's maybe just reorganize this a little bit, so just so we can kind of see what we're doing. Okay, so screen 1 has the red background and then has the green type, because that's the 2-second screen button. So we'll put those together just so we can kind of keep it straight. And then screen 2 has the red type. So we'll grab the red type. So 2/3, that's the button that clicks you to screen 2. Okay, and then this last one, the orange one, is, so when we click on the red, it's going to take us to screen 3, and then we click on the orange, it's going to take us back to screen 1. So we'll head back to the JS. Okay, so the 2-second takes us to screen 2. All right, so now we're going to do this all, we're going to do it 2 more times. So we're going to do 2/3, right? So the 2/3 button is going to take us to screen 3. Okay, so the screens that we want to hide are screen 1, and we want to hide screen 2. So I'm going to do this here. And then the screen that we want to show is going to be screen 3. Okay, and then we'll do this one more time. Okay, so we'll say the to first button, right? So the to first button, just to remind you, the to first button is the button on that last screen that's going to take us back to screen 1. So I'll say to first. Okay, and then we're going to hide screen 3. Okay, and we will show screen 1. Okay, and then just to make this a little bit more clear for y'all, we'll just say like screen 1, BR is just a line break. next screen, okay? And then screen 2. So that's going to label our screen, like what screen it is, just so y'all can see. And then screen 3. Okay, cool. So if we head back, okay, we're on screen 1, and then we click on this button, it's going to take us to the next screen. Great, it takes us to screen 2, so if we click here, it'll take us to screen 3, and then if we hit next screen again, it'll take us back to screen 1. Okay, congrats y'all, you just made your first JavaScript experiment. Well, except that's a lie for those who are in Web 2, but whatever. Congratulations anyways. Okay, bye.